Hey everyone, it's Jay, and welcome to True Crime and Conspiracy Zone. I hope you're having a good morning, day, evening, or night, wherever you are. This video is about Louisiana State Penitentiary and is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Louisiana State Penitentiary is known as Angola. It is named after the former plantation that occupied the area where the prison is located. It is also known as the Farm, Alcatraz of the South, and the Angola Plantation. It is the largest maximum security prison in the United States and is known to be one of the most notorious ones. Each year, about 32 inmates pass away and about 4 get released. It is in east central Louisiana, 22 miles northwest of St. Francisville, 50 miles northwest of Baton Rouge, and 135 miles northeast of New Orleans. The front gate of Angola is located about 22 miles down an old, at time muddy country highway. When driving down this road, you cannot help but think what would be going through a man's mind as they take that road in prison transportation. What is his thoughts? What is his fears? And what's running through his mind? What's not running through his mind? Angola is surrounded by the Mississippi River on 3 sides. That makes an escape plan pretty hard. Later on, we'll get into a few escape stories. This will probably explain why the perimeter of Angola is not fenced. The dorms, camps, and recreational camps are, but not the grounds. Angola is 18,000 acres, which is about 28 square miles. It holds about 6,300 male prisoners, 1,800 staff members. It is its own city, has its own zip code, and is often referred to as a gated community. Because of the size of the facility and the fact that most of the prison is dedicated to growing crops, it was designed to be as self-sufficient as possible. It has a canning factory, a dairy, mailing system, a ranch, repair shop, and sugar mill. Angola has the largest number of inmates with a life sentence in the United States. According to the July 2020 briefing book for the Louisiana Department of Public Safety and Corrections, it shows that 97% of men in prison in Louisiana are lifers. That means as of July 2020, there were 4,458 men doing life in Louisiana. There will be a link to this information in the description. The inmates at this facility are from different security levels, and about 30% of the facility is set up for maximum security. The inmates are divided up across the property. And finally, in the 90s, AC and heating was installed in the housing units. Most of the inmates live in dormitories and not cells. The reception center, in my opinion, has to be one of the most intimidating locations at the prison. There are 101 extended lockdown cells for housing condemned inmates. The most restricted level is administrative segregation, is referred to by the inmates as the dungeon or the hole. 1 minimum custody dormitory for inmates who provide housekeeping. This is also the first stop all new arriving prisoners will go to. The reception center is also the location of death row inmates, which includes 8 tiers. 7 tiers have 15 cells. 1 tier has 11 cells. Each hallway has a cell for showering. In Louisiana, inmates on death row are held in solitary confinement during the entire time of their incarceration, even if the appeals process takes years. They are severely isolated and confined to a windowless cell for 23 hours a day. 1 hour a day they are taken out to shower. 3 times a week they can use the exercise yard. They can have several books at one time, and they only get 1 5-minute personal phone call per month. They cannot use the education system or the work programs. They can receive unlimited visitor access. This must be the only positive thing for these men, in my opinion. The current death row facility was built in 2006. There is no AC or cross ventilation. In my opinion, that is just cruel and unjust. The main area of the prison is divided into the East Yard and West Yard. The East Yard has 16 minimum and 16 medium dormitories, one maximum custody extended lockdown cell block. This block houses long-term extended lockdown prisoners, in-transit administrative segregation prisoners, and inmates who need mental health attention and protective custody inmates. The West Yard has 16 medium and 16 minimum dormitories, 2 administrative segregation cell blocks, and the Prison Treatment Center, which houses geriatrics, hospice, and in-transit prisoners. The facility also has out camps. Camp C has 8 minimum and 8 medium dormitories, 1 cell block with administrative segregation, and 1 extended lockdown cell block. Camp D has 8 minimum and 8 medium dormitories and 1 working cell block. Camp F has 4 minimum custody dormitories and the dog pen, which houses 11 minimum custody inmates. All the inmates in these dormitories and the dog pen are trustees who mop floors, deliver food to other inmates, and perform other supportive tasks. This is also the location of Angola's execution chambers. All death row inmates will be executed at Camp F. And perhaps the best part of Camp F is the lake where the trustees can fish. The CCR is the closed cell restricted unit. It is an isolated unit and has 101 isolated cells and 40 trustee beds. The inmates have access to education classes, literacy classes for inmates with no high school diploma or GED, GED classes, adult basic education. These classes are for inmates who have their GED or diploma but have inadequate tests of the adult basic education scores to get into vocational schools. Once an inmate has satisfactory TABE scores, they can be admitted into vocational classes, which include automotive technology, carpentry, culinary arts, graphic communications, horticulture, and welding. Pre-release, exit program, and re-entry program for inmates who are about to be released to the outside world are also offered. The correctional officers at Angola are often referred to as free men. In my opinion, that term is outdated and shouldn't be used. They live in an area on the grounds called the B Line, which is a group of houses which are used as residence for prison staff members and their families. This area also has a recreational center, pool, parks, and a chapel for the use of the families. The correctional officers, as well as other employees, can also use the Angola ferry. The only other time non-employees can access the ferry is during special events. The recreational facility is known as Butler Park. It has gazebos, picnic tables, barbecue pits, tennis courts, a walking track, and a lake which is right off the Mississippi with great crappie fish to catch. The children of the staff members have certain schools in which they attend. The primary school is Baines Lower Elementary and Secondary School, and West Feliciana Middle and High School. Angola has quite a few facilities and features, way more than I would have ever thought. The Visit and Process Center is exactly what it sounds like. This is the area where all visitors of the prison will go through processing and security. Angola Museum. No visitors are charged an admission fee, but the museum will accept donations. The main prison church and chapel is for Camp C and D. The most recent church is Our Lady of Guadalupe Chapel, which is a 6,000 square foot chapel. It was built by 50 inmates in 38 days. It can hold more than 200 people and has featured paintings, furniture, and stained glass windows created by inmates. Prison View Golf Course is the only golf course on the property of a prison in America. It's 6,000 yards, 9 holes, 36-par golf course. Anyone wanting to use the facility must give their information 48 hours ahead of time for background checks. The only people who cannot play on the course is inmates, people listed on inmates' visitors list, and convicted felons. The inmates constructed the entire golf course, and only the most trustworthy inmates can work the course. The warden who built the course thought it would give the correctional officers an incentive to stay on site on their days off and would be around in case of an emergency on the grounds. The ranch house is a facility for overnight guests. Point Lookout and Point Lookout 2 is the prison cemeteries. Any prisoners from all of Louisiana prisons who have not been claimed by family are transported here and buried at Angola. All the caskets are made by inmates on ground. They used to bury the inmates in cardboard boxes until one body fell through. At that point, the warden changed the policy. A little piece of added information: Benny Hinn's casket was built by the inmates at this facility. Angola Airstrip. The airstrip is used by state-owned aircraft to transport prisoners to and from Angola and for transporting officials on state business to and from Angola. Angola has a post office, and it's ran by the U.S. Postal Service, like every other post office across the United States. David C. Capps Correctional Officer Training Center is where all state correctional officers are trained. C.C. Dixon Canine Training is the canine training dog area. The R.E. Barrow Junior Treatment Center is a fully staffed medical facility employing a staff of full-time physicians, nurses, and other medical support personnel. Specialty clinics are held on-site, which makes the services easy for all inmates. The specialty clinics provided on-site include orthopedic, HIV, ENT, neurology, oral surgery, urology, general medicine, hepatitis, gastroenterology, EKL surgery, podiatry, minor surgery, TB, diabetic, physical therapy, and optometry. Any special clinics that are not offered at the facility are offered through the Louisiana State University Health Science Center at Earl K. Long Hospital in Baton Rouge. Louisiana State Penitentiary also has its own water waste treatment plant. Angola Fire Department is a registered department with the Louisiana Fire Marshal's Office. They have 1 engine, 1 tanker, and 1 rescue truck. They protect about 500 buildings across the property. Angola has many operations going on and operates like a working farm. Inmates farm and work the fields of Angola. The crops include cabbage, corn, cotton, strawberry, okra, onions, pepper, soybeans, squash, tomatoes, wheat, and sugarcane. Each year, they produce about 4 million pounds of vegetable crops. Angola has a 2,000 herd of cattle, and most of the herd is sold for beef. Inmates also breed and train horses. Horses are used for field work, for mounted supervisors, and horse sales for the annual rodeo. The farm warehouse, 914, is the point of distribution of agricultural supplies. Mattress, broom, and mop shop makes mattresses and cleaning tools. Printing shop prints documents, forms, and other printing material. The Rage Herd Group manages the herd of cattle. The Row Crop Group harvests crops. The Silk Screen Group produces badges, road and highway signs, and textiles. It also manages sales of sign hardware. The tag plant produces license plates for Louisiana and overseas customers. The tractor repair shop repairs agricultural equipment. The transportation division delivers goods manufactured by the Prison Enterprise Division. The Angola is a magazine that is published and edited by the inmates. Each year, 6 issues are published. The magazine has gained a national reputation as a quality magazine and won international awards. Angola has a radio station, KLSP. It is the only penitentiary in the U.S. to have been issued an FCC license to operate a radio station. The inmates have a special name for the radio station. They call it the incarceration station. LSP TV is the penitentiary's television channel. Inmate staff and technicians also film prison events such as the rodeo, prize fights, and football games. Since it is a closed-circuit system, it allows even inmates on death row to watch the broadcast. And the Angola Prison Rodeo. The event is held one weekend in April and every Sunday in October. On each date, thousands of visitors enter the prison complex. This show has earned the name of the wildest show in the South. There is an admission fee, but in my opinion, you cannot have that much fun for $20 anywhere on earth. Along with the rodeo, the inmates hold a semi-annual arts and crafts festival. After going through the briefing report for Louisiana Prison Enterprises, I was able to find the amount of money that some of these operations bring into the prison. The following numbers are based on the sales of operation for the fiscal year of 2018 through 2019. The tag plant total sales was $1,538,046. The silk screen shop total sales was $110,962. The metal fab shop total sales was $925,657. The mattress mop and broom sales was $870,356. The print shop sales was $299,510. Baton Rouge janitorial services provided by the prison sales total was $2,818,494. The LSP range herd total sales was $482,851. Corn sales total was $205,951. Cotton sales total was $247,539. And the soybean sale total was $759,285. There are 2 programs offered for inmates who are fathers. Returning Hearts, which is an event where inmates may spend up to 8 hours with their children at a carnival-like celebration. And Malachi's Dad is a year-long program that uses the Christian Bible as the basis of teaching how to improve an inmate's parenting skills. It is based off of Malachi chapter 4, verse 6. He will turn the hearts of the father to the children and the hearts of the children to their father. Angola also has some inmate organizations. They include Angola Men of Integrity, Lifers Organization, the Angola Drama Club, Wonders of Joy, Camp C Concept Club, and Latin America Cultural Brotherhood. As I mentioned before, Angola is the location where all men and women in the state of Louisiana will be executed. On the day of execution, a male inmate will be moved from the reception center to a cell near the execution chambers in Camp F. When they move the inmate, the only person who knows the time he will be moved is the warden. This is to make sure that the routine of the rest of the prison is not interrupted. Execution takes place between 6 p.m. and midnight. The rest of the farm does not know that the execution has taken place. And finally, let's get into the escapes. On December 5th, 1956, 5 men escaped by digging out of the prison grounds and swimming across the Mississippi River. They were Robert Wallace, 25, Wallace McDonald, 23, Vernon Ray Ingram, 21, Glenn Holliday, 20, and Frank Vernon Gann, 30. One body was removed from the Mississippi and was believed to be Robert Wallace. Wallace McDonald was later captured in Texas after returning from Mexico. McDonald claimed that 2 of his fellow inmates did not make it out of the river, but that was disputed by the warden at the time. He said his correctional officers found 3 clear sets of tracks climbing up the river bank. I guess we will never know what really happened. In 1993, Angola officers fatally shot Tyrone Brown while he was trying to escape the facility. In 1999, Leslie Dale Martin and 3 other inmates on Louisiana death row escaped from their cells. They were caught within hours, before they had even managed to escape the grounds. The 4 men had managed to escape with the use of a hacksaw that had been smuggled in for them by a bribed correctional officer. After the escape, 2 correctional officers were fired and 2 others were demoted. 2 corrections officers later overheard Martin plotting another escape, which included taking hostages and commandeering a vehicle to ram the prison front gates. Martin was immediately moved to the holding cell outside the death chambers 1 month before his execution in 2002. In 2003, Melvin Johnson and Aaron Francisco were cellmates doing life. They escaped from an exercise yard using work gloves and blue jean jackets to protect them from the second razor wire fence. They were both caught within a few hours and returned safely to the facility. Let me know down in the comments, what is your thoughts on this facility? What surprises you the most? Do the numbers of releases each year blow your mind? This is the first video on a series on Angola. There is so much more to this penitentiary than just what's in this video. I look forward to bringing you more information. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video. It's a way you can help me out. And please share the video where you can. And until next time, I hope you have a great day.